Alright, you guys, I'm here to review Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, aka Harry Potter 2, which is also directed by Chris Columbus, just like the first one. And of course, it's starring the same cast throughout all of these movies. But basically, the plot of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is it's about a year later. We pick up when the summer is about to end and Harry Potter's about to go back to school. He's back at the Dursley house, and they're still being assholes to him. They haven't changed their ways yet. Will they ever change their ways? I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and find out. But then, while he's at the house, he meets Dobby the house elf, and Dobby is there. Dobby's here to tell you Harry Potter mustn't go back to school, sir. And that was a really, really bad Dobby impression, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dobby. I know. But anyway, Dobby warns Harry Potter not to go back to Hogwarts. And this is like, Harry Potter's like, what the fuck? Why? But eventually, like, he escapes the Dursley house. He ends up going, some stuff happens along the way, of course. But he ends up going back to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, disobeying Dobby, because Dobby's just a little house elf. Why the fuck would I listen to him, right? And when he gets to the school, a bunch of these students and faculty members and stuff like that are being petrified, which is basically having them in a frozen, comatose state. And Harry Potter's kind of being framed for it. So Harry Potter is trying to figure out who's doing this and why and how do we save these people. That's the overall plot of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Now, what I think of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is, like I said, guys, in my first review, I'm biased, I'm a Harry Potter fanboy, but I love this movie. I like this one better than the first one. I do. Maybe because it was a little bit more dark while still having that feel of the first Harry Potter movie. Once again, I already talked about a lot of the cast, but the cast is great and they get better and better every single time. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the cast in pretty much the other reviews. There are certain characters I'm going to talk about again, but yeah. So, but let's talk about the whole plot element of it's kind of like a murder mystery without the kids being murdered. And yes, I'm taking Review King MB's words here of it being a murder mystery, because it's basically what it is, except nobody's being murdered. You don't know who's doing it. I mean, unless you read the books. This whole movie is kind of like, well, who is doing it, and why are they doing it? And so it's actually a cool, little, interesting plot line to go through. But I'll tell you, one thing, if I was headmaster, my first ruling as headmaster would be to shut that Slytherin house the hell down. Even though I myself am Team Slytherin, but because there's a Team Slytherin, you know, shit's happening, and it's usually because of them. It's something I'll talk about a little later as we go along, but, yeah, 2 years in a row, bad shit's happening at Hogwarts. Harry Potter once again has to save the day with his friends Hermione and Ron, and the whole Gryffindor house and stuff like that, but there are times in this movie when even his friends start to doubt him. There's times in this movie where you kind of doubt him a little bit, because some of the stuff that's kind of happening. You can kind of go, wait, maybe Harry Potter is responsible, or maybe he's like Norman Bates and just blacks out and doesn't know what he's doing when he's doing it. That's always a possibility. But yeah, like I said, this one, the tone, it still feels like it's in that same Harry Potter world, but it does get a lot darker, and there's a lot more dark elements in this movie, which I appreciate because I like the dark stuff. You know, I do like the lighthearted stuff, okay, and the first movie was fine for that. But for me, I'm more of a darker guy anyway. Now you can't tell from my skin, and that's not a racist joke. I love black people. But anyways, I like the dark and gritty stuff in movies. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, like I said, guys, I personally love it. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the cast in this one again. The Dursleys are still dicks. Draco Malfoy's still a dick. Not as annoying as he was in the first one, but he's still a dick, and, you know, I still love the character of Draco Malfoy. Ron, You know, he was. Some could argue that he was a little annoying in the first movie. I think he was fine, but I think he's better in this movie also. Hermione, you know, she still looks good, and I can say that because I was about the same age as them. So, yeah, I had a little crush on Hermione growing up. Sue me, alright? I still kind of have a little crush on her now. Not 12-year-old Hermione, no, like 20-something-year-old Hermione. Hermione just stole all our shit, Hermione. That Hermione. Anyway, so, yeah. And then, like I said, like, Dobby doesn't just pop up in that one part of the movie. Like, Dobby pops up a few more times in this movie. And, you know, I love Dobby. He's like, Dobby warned you. I can't do a good Dobby impression, you guys. I'm sorry. Dobby wonders where to begin. Anyways. Oh my god, let's get to the rest of this review, dude. Alright, so we have a new defense against the dark arts teacher, since, you know, the shit from the first movie kind of left Hogwarts without a defense against the dark arts teacher. We now have Professor, I guess he's a professor now, Gilderoy Lockhart, who is this guy who went on all these adventures, and he wrote a bunch of books about him, and now he's, you know, defense against the dark arts teacher at Hogwarts. And, it's obvious, like I said, guys, if you haven't read the books, then, you know, go read the books first and then watch the movies. But whatever, if you just want to watch the movies, that's cool too. Because the movies are great, and for the most part, they're pretty good adaptations. Sure, they cut out some stuff, but I mean, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as you would think. They keep most stuff in. They don't make too many changes. But even from the beginning of the movie, you can, if you've never read the books, you can tell that this Gilderoy Lockhart's full of shit. And turns out later on in the movie, spoiler alert right here, but yeah, it is all bullshit. That's, like, the action sequences in the Chamber of Secrets, I think, are great. The villain, when you find out who is doing it and everything, that's awesome. That's a good payoff. Some of the new characters we meet in this one, like Dobby, very, very likable. You just love Dobby the instant you meet him. Moaning Myrtle, she can be a little annoying at times, but, you know, she's actually not as annoying as she could have been. So I'm glad that, you know, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But Moaning Myrtle, she's an alright character. She kind of has her place in the Harry Potter movies quite well. Like, there's not too much Moaning Myrtle in here, because I think too much of her, people would have got annoyed pretty easy, but she's not in it too much, so, you know, there's that. Some of the hijinks and stuff that goes on in this movie, like the Polyjuice Potion stuff, you know, stuff like that, like I said, guys, it's really fun. I highly enjoy it. I'm going to give Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, I'm going to give it an A-. I do, because, like I said, I'm biased. I'm a Harry Potter fanboy, but I do like this one better than the first one, personally, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a higher rating than the first one, so Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is getting an A-. What do you guys think of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets? Comment your thoughts down below and let me know, and, yeah. Oh, wait, before I go, I do want to mention one thing, John Williams' score in these movies. You know, John Williams is obviously iconic. He does iconic themes for iconic movies. Is Harry Potter an iconic movie? Well, it's not Star Wars iconic. It's not, you know, Jaws iconic or anything like that. But, you know, like I said, Harry Potter fanboy, love these movies. And the theme, every time you hear that theme, this is what John Williams does best. It takes you right into that world of Hogwarts and this wizard stuff. And, you know, you're getting out of the way of muggles, non-magic folk. And, you're getting out of the way of muggles, non-magic folk. Casey and the Sunshine Band. Anyway, I don't know, guys. I'm very tired, so I'm going to end this review. I'm going to get some rest, and I'll see you guys in the Prisoner of Azkaban review. Chamber of Secrets, A-, and, yeah. Well, see you later.